Hey, I'm Dean and this is Legacy Voyage. In Season 1, I'm documenting my journey to earning my first 100K net worth as a full-time college student. Join me as I share some of the lessons I learned along the way. On Saturday, we had a 5-hour drive to Iowa. We had a rugby game. We got smacked. We got absolutely destroyed. But something I did do was I was reading Elon Musk, his biography, and Atomic Habits. So first I want to share a little of what I learned from Elon, from his life. I haven't finished it yet, but in the pages that I did read, it was a lot, man. He's been through a lot of things. I don't envy him at all because his family life, it seems so terrible. I mean, he's been with like 3 different women and has a whole bunch of kids. He's been through some things. Like, one of the interesting parts that stood out is that his teachers, when he was super little, they thought he was retarded. They went to his parents and they said, "We have reason to believe your son Elon Musk is retarded." That's why. I mean, he does have Asperger's, but from what I understand of it and from what they were explaining in the book, all it means is that he's not really socially aware. Like, he can't really understand or perceive other people's emotions. But Elon, he also has this super high tolerance of risk. Not even tolerance, it's to the point where he absolutely loves risk. And he will go out of his way to just get more and more risk. Like, an example of this is when he sold Zip2, his first company, PayPal. Now he has like over 200 million bucks. He has to figure out, what am I going to do with all this money? Mance decides to go into some of the most highly regulated and toughest industries in the world. He's like, you know what? I want to solve the renewable energy crisis. So I'm going to go do electric cars. So he goes and does that. Well, even before Tesla, he did SpaceX. And he was like, I want to solve the planetary problem. I want a multi-planetary species to where humans can have life insurance on Mars. And we'll have 1 million people on Mars so that if the Earth ever does go kaboom, then we have this backup plan. So then he went into SpaceX, had like 3 failed launches. The 4th one, it finally worked. But he has this huge tolerance of risk. And it was to the point where he had to make a decision where it looked like both of his companies were going to die. And these companies, he describes it as children. It's like he's ran out of money. He has to make a decision. He only has a little bit of cash left, a little bit in context of ginormous companies, but he has only this limited amount of money that he can spend. The analogy he said was, it was like having 2 kids, only having enough food to feed one of them. And if you feed one of them, then that one child has a way higher chance of surviving, of living. But if you split it between the both of them, then they both have a chance, but it's extremely low. He said, you know what? I'm just gonna put it into both of them. So that's what he did. Through that, he was able to make it work, which is wild. And it comes back to a couple of key things that I learned from him. One of the first things I learned is he loves to think from first principles. What does that mean? I don't fully understand it yet. It's a physics thing from what I know. And from first principles means, I have this water bottle right here. How much does this water bottle cost? Well, thinking from first principles, what materials go into this water bottle? How much do those materials cost? And can I get it low enough to where I can create this water bottle from first principles? That was kind of an all-over analogy, but it's the best I can come up with now as I understand it. Along with this idea of first principles, he loves questioning rules because there are these changeable rules and unchangeable rules. The changeable rules are, when he was building SpaceX, all the regulations, all the requirements that the government put on rocket ships. They said your rocket has to be this long and this tall, and it can't be more than this weight. Things like that. They would have all these requirements, regulations, and all the engineers would say, no, we can't do that because that's against the requirements, against the regulation. Elon would say, you know what? The only real rules are the unchangeable rules, the laws of physics. That's the only rules you need to worry about. So go and do it. That's the mindset he took into doing all of these crazy ventures. The other one I was touching on before was his high tolerance of risk. And the other day we were at a garage family dinner, and this person is an entrepreneur who's done it. Like, they dropped out of school. They raised like $500,000 to go and do their startup full-time. So he comes in, he's telling his story. He says that especially as a college student, you need to adjust your risk profile because realistically, worst case scenario of doing a startup in college at Northwestern, you graduate with a Northwestern degree and you have this valuable experience under your belt that most students will never even know, will never even dream of, because there's so much value in being a student entrepreneur. And that really resonated with me because I've always been about that. Like right now, because I'm so young, I can play offensive. I can place so much risk into what I'm doing now because I'm so young. And it's one of the things that people may look at it as a downside or something that might hold you back as a disadvantage, but I see it as a total advantage. I can use this thing and say, you know what? I'm going to use it to take me further, to push me harder. This is what I can do to win the game and have a better chance at playing it. Now, there are a lot more takeaways that I'll probably share by the time I finish the book, things that really resonated with me, but I'm also rereading Atomic Habits. I think there's a lot of value in reading one really good book 10 times as opposed to 10 mediocre books one time. Because there's so much that you can gain just from reading Atomic Habits over and over and over again, constantly trying to improve and apply those teachings to your life. And I'm a big fan of rereading things because the words on the page never change, but you do. And you focus and you pull out different things every single time you reread something. So with Atomic Habits, it's been a really good reminder of how I can become the person that I want to become. This is one thing over this past week, my health has been kind of falling off track because I haven't been going to the gym because I've been sore, and it's affected my eating habits, which now with rereading Atomic Habits, I've broken it down. I said, you know what? Instead of sitting at this place during breakfast, I'm going to sit further away from the cereal and the desserts. So that way it would be harder for me to go and have those things. And before I eat, I'm going to start tracking not exactly the calories, but the reason why I'm eating this thing. And then I'm also going to make sure to track how hungry I feel. Because a lot of the times we don't eat because we're hungry. At least for me, a lot of the times I don't eat because I'm hungry. I eat because I'm stressed or I'm overwhelmed or I'm just sad or a whole bunch of other reasons, which create this huge spiral effect, this flywheel of my health falling off the chain. But one of the things that really stuck out this reading through is the idea of position versus direction. Now, a key example of this is if I'm super rich, I have all this money, but I'm going in the direction of spending more than I earn, then over the long run, I will be broke. And the opposite of that is if I'm in a position of being broke, but I'm going in the direction of earning more than I spend, then over the long run, I will be wealthy, I'll be rich. And this applies to health, it applies to all the things. And another way of thinking about this is your results are a lagging measure of your habits. Your eating habits are a lagging, or your health is a lagging measure of your eating habits. Your wealth is a lagging measure of your spending habits. If you can build these habits to where it's pushing you in the right direction, to where over the long run, you will get to where you want to be, you will become the person you want to become, then that is more important than where you're at right now, position right now. That's something I really enjoyed. Now, with the life update, Amnesia News, that's going well, I think. I'll post my first interview today, and then throughout the week, we'll put out short clips of them. Getting a lot of work done. Like I said, I think health is a huge part of everything in my life. Like if my health kind of goes off track, then my productivity and what I can get done for work, that kind of goes off track as well. So on some days when that did happen, I would just splurge and indulge. Then I wouldn't get as much work done as I would have liked to. But I think now with rereading Atomic Habits, reminding myself of those things, making those changes, I think I should be fine. I'll keep you updated on how that goes. But yeah, not too much of a big life update. You just keep playing the game, which is always important, and I'll see you in the next one. I record these episodes completely free to share success with everyone. So the only thing I ask is that if you learned anything or found something interesting in this episode, just leave a review and share it with a friend. Only takes 5 seconds and it would mean the world. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next episode. Tatok see you.